Hi, I'm Mike Handberger with Tricky Fast Studios. Today I'm going to show you how to set up switches, which are a new type of interactive object in CAD RPG Builder, and I'm also going to show you how to connect them up to doors, to lock them or to open them, and then another type of interactive object called the Destructible, which can be exploded and sort of destroyed into pieces. And I'm going to show you how to set that up, how to trigger it with a switch, and I'll show you how to trigger it with any other type of trigger that CAD supports, such as a proximity trigger. By the end of this video, you should be able to set up switches and destructible objects, and to trigger them and to trigger things with your switches. So let's get started. I have this mostly empty scene here. I have brought in two doors. You can see these big slabs here, and currently there's a player and a camera as well. So currently these doors are set up so that you can just click on them to open them or close them. They both work the same way. So let's set up a switch. Okay? We're going to create a 3D object. We're going to create a cylinder. We're going to make it really small and really short. Something like that. I'll put this towards the ground so that we can actually reach it. Up. And then let's put it closer to this door here. Okay. So, first things first, we want to add a state machine component to the cylinder. The main way to create a switch is to use the switch behavior. So let's just add that now. There's a whole bunch of parameters on the switch. First of all is the target, which we do want to point at owner. And then we can set it to be on or off. We can set it to be momentary, so that means when you push it, it goes on for a second and then off. And then we can add animation or sound. So it has an on sound and an off sound. Then we have a notification target that we'll talk about in just a minute. So we're going to go low tech here, and I'm going to show you that you can add actions below the switch. So we can add a move action. Yep, we can add a move action, and we're going to set the destination to use an offset and negative 0.2 y. Negative 0.2 y. We'll give it a 2.2 seconds duration, and then we're just going to duplicate this. And what we can do here is on this second move action, number one, we can make it so that it's going to put it back up, and then we can set it to be an else action, or a stop action. So we hit this little button here, it becomes a stop action. So now when we click the switch, it's going to go down, and then when we click it again, it's going to go back up. So the next thing we need to do is to make the switch interactive. So to do that, we want to add the interaction service. And then on the switch, well, rename this to switch, we want to add an interaction manager. Let's give it a bigger thing here. We don't want to show that. So we can add a switch interaction by right-clicking, going to Cat, RPG, Interaction, Switch Interaction, and we can find that down here. We can generally just leave all these parameters as is, and we should be able to give it a try. So just keep in mind the switch isn't actually hooked up to do anything, but it will move. So if we click on it, it goes down. If we click on it again, it comes back up. And that's all it does right now. If we watch the switch behavior, you can see it's off, now it's on. Now it's off again. So let's make the switch do something. Now, if you remember, there's this notification target. So if we set that to a door, this is door 1. So if we notify door 1, that's going to send an event to door 1. And then since door 1 has a door behavior active on it, it's going to listen for that event and it's going to open or close. So if we hit play, this works for doors, it works for chests. And so if we click on, we click on that, it opens. We click on it again, it closes. There, we've just hooked up the switch to the door. Very easy. So let's make a copy of our switch. And let's move it to the other door. Okay. Let's move that right there. So now with this switch, we'll call this switch 2. We're going to remove this notification target. Actually, we're going to set it to owner, just because. And now on this door, we're going to add a triggered action. So you can listen to switches via trigger. So if we add a switch trigger, and then we can lock door, revert on stop. So basically, whenever the switch is on, the door is going to be locked. When it's off, the door will be unlocked. We do want to set this state to be on. One other thing we're going to need to do is actually set the target of this to our switch. And let's give that a try. So let's come over here. Door is not locked. Let's take a look at the door behavior. We click the switch on. Door is locked. We can no longer open it. We switch off. Door is unlocked. We can open it again. So let's talk about momentary switches. Let's go back to this first switch here. And let's duplicate that, move that over here, and let's come over to our switch behavior and set it to momentary. And let's remove our notification target so we're not opening the door. And if you see, if we come over here, we click this, it just goes on and off, right? On and off. You can even see the state over here change. So what can we do with that? We could introduce the destructible behavior. So destructible behavior allows you to destroy something. We can do that. We can make a cube here. Let's make that just a normal 111 cube. Set that over here, put it down on the floor. And we're going to add a component for destructible. Oh no, sorry. We're going to add a state machine. And then add the destructible behavior. So it takes a bunch of parameters. You can have things destruct when they die. So the destroyed pieces we want to set to value. Create size 1. Drag in our cube pieces. over here. Outward force, we'll give it an explosion radius of that. We'll give it an outward force of, we'll try 10. We'll set the explosion radius on the owner. We can add loot to it. We can add sound to the explosion. Alright, so then we also want to add a switch trigger here. Oops. Oops. Right. We want the target to be, well, let's change this to switch 3. So set the target to switch 3 when it turns on. And then we're going to add a destructible action. And we'll call that owner. One thing before we try this, we want to set the spawn type to all pieces so that it actually spawns them all. You could set it to random pieces and have a minimum or maximum random count. So if you have just some random debris that you want to spawn, that would work too. So let's give this a try. Alright. Shall we push the button? Push the button. And our cube explodes. Obviously we can't do it again because it's already exploded. One more thing we can do here is you can actually put triggers on destructibles. So if I was to directly add a trigger underneath the destructible behavior here, so we'll call that proximity trigger, right? So we'll set the radius to be 10, we'll do 5, target is owner, applied target is player, and check frequency is half a second. We actually don't want that in a triggered action here, so we can remove that. There we go. Alright, so now if I get close to this cube, it should blow up. And there it goes. It wasn't quite as spectacular as the last time, but probably because I was sitting right in front of it. In this video, you should have learned how to create switches, make them actually control doors, locking doors, and then also destructible things. So you also should have learned how to create a destructible item, how to set it up to be destroyed on a trigger, a switch, and how to set it up to be destroyed on a trigger when the player comes near it or some other reason. And I hope you found this video informative and useful. Let us know in the comments if there are other videos or tutorials you'd like to see. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on social media for the latest videos and other news. For more information on CAT or CAT RPG Builder and how they can help you build and prototype RPGs faster, please visit catgamebuilder.com. I'm Mike Handverger with Tricky Fast Studios. Thanks for watching.